Dishti IAS in this program Places in News brings to you a pioneering initiative. By using maps, we aim to make it simpler for you to learn about geographical locations of important places that have been in news in the recent past. We will be covering 5 places for this session. They are Switzerland, Iran, South Africa, Venezuela, and the United Kingdom. Let's have a deeper look into each of these places and see why they have been in news.
The first place in news is Switzerland. Recently, the Indian Prime Minister delivered the keynote address at World Economic Forum 2019 in Davos, Switzerland. The capital of Switzerland is Bern. The flag of Switzerland displays a white cross in the center of a square red field. Currency of Switzerland is the Swiss franc. It is usually indicated as CHF. Switzerland became independent in 1815. The constitution, adopted in 1848, does not allow for the troops to take part in armed conflict unless it is attacked. Its forces can only be used for self-defense and internal security. During World War I and World War II, the Swiss Confederation maintained armed neutrality. Additionally, it was a safe haven for refugees during the wars. The country is made up of 26 cantons or states which form the Confederation. Switzerland shares its borders with Germany, Austria, Liechtenstein, Italy, and France. Some of the largest bodies of water in this country include Lake Geneva, Lake Constance, and the Rhine River. The entire country is divided into 3 specific geographic regions: the Jura Mountains to the north, the Swiss Alps Mountains to the south, and the central plateau between the two. Switzerland has no direct access to the ocean or the sea, which means it is a landlocked country. Switzerland did not become a member of United Nations until 2002 and is not a member of the European Union. Switzerland's neutrality has made it a favorite destination for international organizations to set up their headquarters. For example, International Olympic Committee has headquarters in Switzerland. Others include CERN, ILO, IUCN, WHO, WIPO, WMO, and UNHCR. Albert Einstein developed his famous formula E is equal to mc square in Switzerland. He developed his theory of relativity while studying and living in Bern, after renouncing his German citizenship to avoid military duty.
Looking at the next place in news, that is Iran. Iran is celebrating the 40th anniversary of Islamic Revolution that took place in 1979. Capital of Iran is Tehran. The flag, adopted after the revolution of 78-79, features 3 horizontal bars, green, white and red, representing respectively Islam, peace and courage. The bars are divided by stylized script. The white bar features a centered, red, abstract representation of the name Allah in the shape of a tulip. The Iranian rial is the currency of Iran. Persia, as Iran was known before 1935, was one of the greatest empires of the ancient world. Iran adheres to the Shia interpretation of Islam. Iran, as an Islamic republic, emerged in the aftermath of Islamic Revolution that occurred in 1979, overthrowing the Shah regime. Iran is bounded to the north by Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkmenistan and the Caspian Sea, to the east by Pakistan and Afghanistan, to the south by Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, and to the west by Turkey and Iraq. Iran also controls about a dozen islands in the Persian Gulf. Iran has 2 mountain ranges: the High Alborz mountain range in the north along the south shore of the Caspian Sea, and the Zagros mountain range stretching from the borders with Turkey and Iraq in the northwest to Strait of Hormuz in the southeast. The salt deserts, Dasht-e Kavir and Dasht-e Lut, are located in the eastern part of the country. The largest inland body of water, Lake Urmia, is located in the northwestern Iran. Iran holds the world's 4th largest proved crude oil reserves and the world's 2nd largest natural gas reserves. The Islamic Republic of Iran was one of the founding members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, which was founded in 1960. It is to be noted that Iran is not a member of Gulf Cooperation Council or GCC. India is developing Chabahar port located in the southeastern Iran on the Gulf of Oman to smoothen connectivity with Afghanistan and Central Asian region bypassing Pakistan. International North-South Transport Corridor, a multimodal transport corridor, connects India and Russia via Port Bandar Abbas in Iran, located on the coast of Persian Gulf. Famous literary figures like Ferdowsi, Sadi, Rumi, and Hafiz are from Iran.
The next place that we will be discussing is South Africa. Recently, President of South Africa visited India as a chief guest at India's 70th Republic Day celebrations. South Africa has three capitals: Pretoria, which is the administrative capital, Cape Town as the legislative capital, Bloemfontein as the judicial capital. The South African flag is symbolic of the convergence of diverse elements within South African society, taking the road ahead in unity. The country has 11 official languages and many more unofficial ones. This colorful mix of cultures gives South Africa its nickname Rainbow Nation. The rand is the currency of South Africa since 1961, when it replaced the South African pound. Present-day South Africa is byproduct of a long drawn-out anti-colonial struggle plus anti-apartheid movements. Apartheid, a racial arrangement in law, was introduced in 1948 and was eventually abolished in 1994. South Africa is bordered by Botswana, Mozambique, Namibia, Swaziland, and Zimbabwe, and it surrounds the small kingdom of Lesotho. South Africa has a coastline on both the South Atlantic Ocean in west and the Indian Ocean in east. The warm Mozambique-Agulhas Current skirts the east and south coasts, while the cold Benguela Current flows northwards along the west coast. The Drakensberg or Dragon's Mountain range of South Africa extends roughly northeast to southwest, and South Africa's highest point, Jesuthi, is located here. Great Escarpment is the most prominent and continuous relief feature of the country. Veld, a temperate grassland, cover most of the South Africa's landscape. South Africa's Kalahari Desert is part of a huge sand basin that occupies almost all of Botswana, the eastern third of Namibia, and the northernmost part of Northern Cape Province in South Africa. The Limpopo River, which passes Tropic of Capricorn twice, rises in South Africa and flows eastward to Indian Ocean in Mozambique. Diamond mining has historically been concentrated around Kimberley, and the Kimberley process, which was established to prevent conflict diamonds from entering mainstream diamond markets, is named after this locality. Also, India took over its chairmanship from January 2019. South Africa was invited to join BRIC in 2010, after which the group adopted the acronym BRICS. South Africa is a member of the African Union. The African Union, a continental union consisting of 55 countries of the continent of Africa, is aimed for greater unity and solidarity among the member countries. South Africa lies on the junction of Indian Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, thus plays an important role in security of transport channel with continents of Africa and America. Desmond Tutu, a South African social rights anti-apartheid activist, was awarded with Nobel Prize for Peace in 1984. Nelson Mandela, first black president of South Africa, helped country to end apartheid and was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1993. Nelson Mandela was also awarded with Bharat Ratna in 1990 and Gandhi Peace Prize in 2000. He and Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan are the only foreigners to have been awarded Bharat Ratna. Mahatma Gandhi arrived in South Africa in 1893 and left it towards the end of 1914. In these years, he experimented his political tool of satyagraha against the British colonial regime in a very vital way.
Moving to the next place, that is Venezuela, the leader of Venezuela's National Assembly, Juan Guaido, recently declared himself as President of Venezuela, challenging the power of the sitting president, Nicolas Maduro. The capital of Venezuela, whose official name is Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, is Caracas. The blue in the Venezuelan flag represents independence from Spain, while the centered stars are symbolic of the 7 provinces that supported the revolution. The official currency of Venezuela was Bolivar Fude, but after the hyperinflation, the main currency of Venezuela since August 2018 is Bolivar Soberano. Colonized by Spain in 1522, Venezuela gained independence in 1811, becoming the first Spanish-American colony to do so. Venezuela became a democracy in 1958, far earlier than other Latin American countries. Venezuela's latest constitution was adopted in 1999. Venezuela is Spanish for Little Venice, named so by early British explorers. Venezuela lies in the north of the South American continent and is bordered by Colombia on its west, Guyana in the east, as well as Brazil in the south. Venezuela is bounded to the north by Caribbean Sea and the North Atlantic Ocean. The Caribbean islands of the Tobago and Trinidad, Grenada, Aruba, Curacao lie along the coast of Venezuela. Venezuela's landscape ranges from Andes Mountains situated in the west to the Amazon basin rainforests on its south, extensive plains of Llanos and Guiana highlands in the east. Lake Maracaibo, situated in Venezuela, is the largest lake in South America. Venezuela is home to Angel Falls, the world's highest waterfall. Venezuela has the largest amount of proven oil reserves in the world. The country's oil is a relatively new discovery. Oil accounts for 96% of Venezuela's exports. Venezuela is a founding member of Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC. The Lima Group is a multilateral body that was established in 2017 to resolve the Venezuela crisis. This 14-member country group demands the release of political prisoners, calls for free elections, offers humanitarian aid, and criticizes the breakdown of democratic order in Venezuela. Simon Bolivar was a Venezuelan military leader who was instrumental in independence of several Latin American countries from the Spanish rule. In 1863, Venezuela became the first modern country to abolish the death penalty for all crimes.
The last place that we'll be discussing is the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom was in news recently as the MPs there rejected the British Prime Minister's European Union Withdrawal Agreement, or the Brexit deal. It is a unique country made up of 4 nations: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Their capitals are London, Edinburgh, Cardiff, and Belfast, respectively. Apart from England, the countries have their own devolved governments, each with varying powers. England, Wales, and Scotland also make up the Great Britain. The United Kingdom flag is actually a composite of England's St. George's Cross, the centered red cross bordered in white, St. Andrew's Cross of Scotland, the diagonal white cross on the blue field, and the patron saint of Ireland, diagonal X-shaped red saltire. The currency of UK is British pound sterling. The UK is an island nation sharing land border only with Ireland. It is located off the northern coast of France, Belgium, Netherlands, and west of Sweden and Denmark. The UK is located on an archipelago known as British Isles. The other surrounding island groups include the Hebrides, the Shetlands, the Orkneys, the Isle of Man, and the Isle of Wight. The Isle of Man and Channel Islands are direct dependencies of British Crown and not part of United Kingdom. The UK is bordered by 4 seas, to the south by the English Channel, which separates it from continental Europe, to the east by the North Sea, to the west by the Irish Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. UK is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, also known as Permanent 5, Big 5 or P5. UK is also part of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Queen Elizabeth II is the head of the Commonwealth of Nations, which is a political association of 53 member states. Nearly all of them were former territories of the British Empire. She is also the head of state of 16 Commonwealth countries. The UK hosts the headquarters of the Commonwealth Secretariat. The UK is known as the home of both modern parliamentary democracy and the Industrial Revolution. Soccer, rugby, cricket, boxing, and golf were all invented in Britain.
That is all for this session of Places in News. See you next week with a new set of places.